I'm here, Civil Service Strollers versus Clydebank today, with Clydebank fan Stuart, who's been kind enough to want to speak to me. How you doing? All right?
Aye, not bad, aye.
Good, nice journey through?
Aye, it was alright, but I had to leave it.
Bit of a delay, it's fine. Is it third game of the season, is that right?
Third game, aye, that's right.
Good start?
Aye, 2 wins out of 2, aye.
2 wins, so top of the league already?
Joint top with Cali Braves, aye.
Right. And is the expectation this season to win the league, get promoted? Is that kind of what you'd expect?
I don't think anybody in the club would say that. I don't think they would say they expect us to win it, but I mean, certainly we would be looking to be challenging, I think.
Because would you find it's more of an open division because East Kilbride got promoted? So there's kind of like maybe quite a few teams could fancy themselves to win it?
I think that's probably the case. Although there's probably only 5 or 6 teams that are probably capable of winning the league. There's probably maybe a middle section that are only quite capable, and there's no relegation for the lower league this year. So
that's right, because the way the format's changing, isn't it?
Aye, that's right. It's splitting an East and West lower league next
now,
season.
Not to put you on the spot, because that wasn't one of my questions, but do you want to explain to me how that is working from next season onwards? Because that's interesting, I think. I only found this out the other day, that the format's changing because of the pyramid, is that right?
Aye. It's splitting into an East and a West. I think a lot of pressure came for below, you know, because there wasn't enough promotion and relegation between the West of Scotland League and the Lowland League. So trying to cater for that a wee bit, they're splitting into an East and West. So at the minute there's about 11 teams in the East and 5 teams for the West that make up the Lowland League. So that's why there's no relegation this season, and next season there'll be about 8 teams coming up for the West into the West Lowland League, and 4 or 5. It's all dependent on things like if a club gets promoted into the SPFL and then who comes down. So it's a wee bit fluid, but so that there could be 8, 9, 10 teams might come up for the West. So the likes of your Auchinlecks and Troons and Beath, well, no Beath because they've not got a licence. You still need a licence to get into the Lowland League. So and
is that the licence that prohibited Bucky Thistle getting promoted? Is that the same system?
Aye,
exactly.
Last year, you need, there's different levels. You need an entry level licence to play in the Lowland League, but you need a bronze licence to get into the SPFL. So I think Bucky have got a bronze licence.
And does the Clydebank have a bronze licence?
No.
Right,
so
okay.
we would need. I think there's only I think Cumbernauld Colts and there might be one other team that's got it, but for Clydebank we would need to make some adjustments to the stadium, and probably some of this administrative stuff behind the scenes would need to be sorted.
Great. That's really interesting, Stuart. Thanks for that. Now I wanted to go sort of delve back. So as I said to you off camera, I find Clydebank's story and history fascinating. I've said this to some people. Now you might be, you're not of an older vintage, but you'll remember the old Clydebank.
I'm old enough. Aye.
So I was speaking about this other day, and some youngsters didn't believe me. But am I right in saying that Clydebank almost moved to Dublin? Or was that was proposed?
It was proposed. Aye. That was essentially what put Clydebank out of business. You know, like the Steedman family who owned the club moved us out of Cobowie Park, and so we ground shared at Dumbarton for a couple of years, and then they sold the club to these guys who's. At the start, they made it sound like they were investing in players. You know, they brought in players who were probably at a higher level than Clydebank had been used to, but their ulterior motive was to relocate the club to Dublin. And then when all hell broke loose, you know, once their hand was forced, and then it never happened. It was never going to happen. FIFA put the kibosh on it, and then so after that they attempted to relocate us to places like Gala, Livingston, Carlisle, you know, so they tried all sorts of stuff until they eventually put us into administration, and then for there we came out of administration, and then this other guy took over as who was involved with a football agent, and then but then that went to shite as well, pardon my French, if you're alright with that. So we went into administration again, and so we were ground sharing at Morton at this point. The crowds had kind of disappeared to almost nothing. So at the same, while this was all going on, Airdrieonians, when they get liquidated, so they tried to reform back in the Scottish League under the name of Airdrie United.
That's right, that'll be about 2003, is that right?
2001, 2002 season. So they went up of business, but the SPL at the time weren't keen on a club who had just now wiping away their debts and restarting for new. So when it came to a vote to allow Airdrie back into the under the guise of Airdrie United, it got refused, and Gretna took the league place.
Right, okay.
So at that point, the new guy who started Airdrie United saw Clydebank in administration and saw it as a vulnerable target, went and basically purchased Clydebank for the administrators, even though the Clydebank supporters had put a bid in to satisfy the administrators' demands. But because the guy had more money than us, the administrators had no choice but to accept their bid, and that put Clydebank out of business.
So you're almost like a Clydebank historian, Stuart. I could have just. I could have spoke to you instead of Googling Wikipedia and stuff like that.
You
Fascinating stuff.
I run the Bankies Archive website.
Oh, do you?
Aye.
Right,
so
great. That's brilliant. I couldn't have spoken to anybody better.
I know, you're talking to the right guy.
So fair to say, without using cliches, it's been very highs and very lows supporting Clydebank, because you're in the Premier League. A lot of points, weren't you?
Aye. Twice we're in the Premier League in the 70s and then again in the mid 80s. And we were quite a well-respected team for good 25-30 years. You know,
produced some good players as well.
Well, David Cooper would be the most famous one, you know, but we had a lot of guys, you know, like Tommy Coyne, Owen Coyle, you know, guys who went on and had pretty decent careers. Gary Teal, who went and played with teams like Derby County and all that, and got some Scotland caps, you know. So it was the Clydebank were quite a successful team there, and for a spell there, a conveyor belt of talent came through, especially in the late 70s and the 80s. You know, but the Bozeman rule was what made the Steedmans sell the club. You know, so they jumped ship when they saw that their cash cow was not there any longer. Right.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't realise that was the detail behind it. Why they wanted to kind of sell out. Right. Okay.
Aye. Well, one of the reasons, you know, they said they couldn't get a new stadium, so they got $3 million for selling Cobowie Park, the Steedman.
And was that sold to property? Was it?
Aye. Aye. And then what's a shopping centre with McDonald's and all.
And now you play at Home Park, is that right?
We play at Home Park at Yoker. When we come back, so it was too late when the whole Airdrie thing happened. It was too late for us to start back into the junior football the season after. So we had a year out, and then we started back in 2003-04. The juniors, I'm assuming you know, the juniors and the seniors were two different grades of football. Yep. And there was no avenue for you to get for the juniors into the seniors.
So all these changes recently, and then you're talking about the change next year for it to become regionalised for the Lowland League. Are you in favour of all that, to open it up?
Aye, I would say so, because it gives me promotion relegation. The one stumbling block now is really the promotion relegation between the Lowland League and the SPFL. So next season, what you'll have to do is there'll be a round robin between the Highland League and the Lowland League East and West. So they'll play each on a round robin, and then the winners of that will play the bottom team of the SPFL. But really, you really need to get at least one automatic promotion spot, and maybe that round robin thing could still exist with the second bottom team, and that would give you a wee bit more ventilation between the two leagues.
Now, that's all fascinating. Thank you. One question, I'll let you go because I know you want to get kind of ready to go and watch the game. Mm-hmm. I've put you in charge of Scottish football. You might have touched on it already, but I'm going to put you in charge of Scottish football.
All right.
And to change one thing about Scottish football that might impact Clydebank, might not. What would it be?
I don't know.
I know I'm putting you on the spot. It's a difficult one.
I quite like getting rid of the old firm, but
right. Okay.
I don't think that's where it would be. You know, no. I don't really know. I don't know. I think it's Scottish football. It's always evolving. You know, people complain about the things that are happening at our level and all the rest of it, but it kind of gets there eventually.
Yeah.
You know, now so I don't have any real things. I'd like to see Clydebank back in the leagues. You know, that would be my ambition. Within football, but you know, but other than that, you know, the run of the game, nothing particular.
Because I think you'll agree, and no matter who we support, we all agree that Scottish football has an authenticity that no other football has. Has this togetherness and this the cult that brings us together on a Saturday to watch a Lowland League game here, or it'll be a Premiership game, or Rangers, Celtic, Motherwell, whoever it is. It's got just as addiction, it's like a drug, isn't it?
Oh, I suppose so. You know, no, otherwise I wouldn't have been. I mean, I've seen hundreds of grounds now that I would never have seen. You know, when I supported Clydebank back in the senior days, and you were playing Falkirks and Fairlands and all that was the bread and butter for us. So all these teams, all these junior teams like Royal Albert and Stonehouse Violet and all these.
How many divisions have you seen them playing then?
Well, right back to when we were on the bottom, when we started on the bottom level of the juniors, so we had to navigate 5 levels. We were on the Central League, Division 2, Division 1, Super Leagues, and then Nord reconstructions, and then so we've played all these teams in all these wee ex-mining villages in Lanarkshire, down in the depths of Ayrshire, and then Scottish Junior Cup games in the north of Scotland, you know, everywhere, you know.
And you've absolutely loved it, eh?
It's been interesting.
It's been interesting.
I still hark back to the old days, you know. Now,
of course.
But that's it. Now, but once you've seen your team, now, but beat Rangers at Cobowie Park, or get a draw against Hibs at Easter Road, and the Scottish Cup, and knocking St Mirren out when they held with the holders at the Scottish Cup, and you've done that, you know. It's a wee bit of a culture shock.
Yes. Right, sorry, I did say one more question, but I lied to you. One last question before we go. Prediction for the season. Heart and head predictions for the season.
Well, obviously, I'd like us to win the league. I think that is possible, and then hopefully go up through the playoffs. That would be great. To be honest, I don't know. There's probably 2 or 3 teams that might make that a wee bit difficult.
Who would you say?
Well, you look at Linlithgow Rose, Trinent, and Cali Braves. You know, they're probably, there's probably 1 or 2 others that could make it difficult for us. But you know, I would be very surprised, you know, now with the squad that we've got and we've built in the last couple of years. I'll be very surprised if we're not in the top 3 or 4.
Right.
Hopefully we can just go that extra mile and win it.
Now tell me, my first Clydebank game, right? Who should I look out for today? Any player I should look out for in particular?
I don't know what to say about this because I don't want to upset any of the players.
Oh, that's all right.
Dean Cairns he was our player of the year last year. He was rated. We've got some great wingers, and defensively David Syme and Andy Leishman in goals, who won everything in the junior game. We've got a lot of players with a lot of experience at this kind of level. Keir Sampson's a great striker. You know, we've got a lot of very good players for this level. So I don't want to single anybody.
Oh, that's good. Very diplomatic answer, Stuart, like that. And an easy win today.
I wouldn't say that. Civil Celstra's got a 3-each draw with Celtic B team during the week, so
that's
that
right,
and they're usually quite strong. They're usually in the top 2 or 3 as well, the Celtic B team. So that means that they're early in the season and they're up for it. You know, Clydebank haven't lost a league. I'm going to put the jinx on here. Haven't lost a league game. Didn't lose any league games last season away from home, and the last time we lost was in Pollock in the last day of the season in 23-24 or 22-23. So
you just jinxed them.
Well, I
hope I'm not jinxing them by being here today.
Well, hopefully we'll be too strong for them, but we'll see.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
That's absolutely brilliant. I couldn't have asked for better content than that. You're a legend, mate. I mean, I didn't even have to speak to any of the fans, or you've given me everything. Absolutely brilliant.
I know.
That's great. Thanks, Stuart.
I'm
so what I'll do is, I usually edit them and then I'll put it together. I'll